Hey, this is episode 8 of Manga Masterclass, where I go on my manga list in alphabetical order, and in this episode, I'll be talking about Choujin X. And without further ado, let's get right into it. First, I'll name the basic overview of Choujin X. There are 60 chapters currently serialized, I don't know why, but the author writes a lot of chapters with continuations like chapter 26.2, 34.3, and so on. But speaking of the author, Choujin X is written and illustrated by Sui Ishida, who you probably know by his mega hit series before Choujin X, which is Tokyo Ghoul. Choujin X has been serializing since the 10th of May of 2021 and has 11 volumes currently released. I see a lot of people online comparing this to Tokyo Ghoul in a good light, as a lot of people were saying that although Tokyo Ghoul may be one of their favorite series, Choujin X is so different to Sui Ishida's previous work, and that it's refreshing that it's so unique. This is also proved by the fact that from the 22 reviews that Choujin X has, 20 of them are positive and the remaining 2 are mixed. While I can't say how it is for the newer chapters, from what I have read, I've read all the way up to 34.1, I have to say, I like this series a whole lot more than Tokyo Ghoul, but I'll get to that in a minute. I have an entire segment dedicated to why Choujin X is so great. So, let me start by naming all the events of this story, up to what I've read. So, the first story arc I read is the Uncrossed Paths arc, where we meet the MCs, aka Tokyo, Ellie, and Azuma. But Tokyo is the protagonist, and we mainly follow his journey and how he starts to learn his powers after he was forced to gain them alongside Azuma in a dire situation. And although Tokyo gains the powers of a Choujin, seemingly, Azuma doesn't. And so pretty much Tokyo is alone for 5 chapters as Azuma pushes him away. But at chapter 5, Tokyo meets Ellie, but they have to fight another Choujin right after. And after that whole ordeal, Tokyo and Ellie go to a Choujin equivalent to a school. And the next main thing is what I'd call Tokyo's first change, as even though we knew that Tokyo was very selfless, this went beyond that. He didn't stop until the pitcher's lifelong dream was achieved, no matter how beat up he was as a direct result of it. And literally less than 3 chapters later, Tokyo gets kidnapped. Like, bruh. Tokyo can't catch no slack, but 2 chapters later, Tokyo gets his ass beaten by his kidnappers after he saw Azuma die. And literally the next chapter, Tokyo starts getting his ass beat for multiple chapters by Azuma's moon form. You know? I'm starting to see a pattern, that no matter the arc, Tokyo just gets his ass beat no matter what. It's like Sui Ishida has a small checklist for an arc. 1. Great arc? Check. 2. Great storytelling? Check. 3. Amazing pacing? Check. I feel like there's something missing. Oh, it's Tokyo getting his ass beat! But this was my second favorite arc in the series so far. And also fucking love this moment. It's when Ellie gets stabbed by Azuma. Tokyo wanted to scream for Azuma, just like any and all protagonist would have in that moment. But Tokyo stops himself and shouts Ellie's name instead. It's a small but noticeable detail for me. But this arc was incredible action-wise. Though I don't understand one thing. What exactly happened to Tokyo when he got this overpowered form? I have no idea what is that. But for some fucking reason, Azuma loses, and then in my opinion, the best arc in the series, as far as I've read, starts. It's the Beast Island arc. I fucking love this arc. The unique powers, the great action, the, in my opinion, storytelling peaking in this arc. It was just incredible. I don't know why, but I also love the way they split up the teams. Azuma being all alone shows just how much stronger he is when compared to everyone else. The craftsmanship and high battle IQ shown by Tokyo, incredible arc. Absolute cinema. And now is the final arc, which I've read / am reading, which is the Tower of Mourning arc. From this arc, from the 9 chapters, I've read 5. I read up to Tokyo, Ellie, and Azuma running away from the Holy Mother after Azuma suggested that anyone who inherits her powers dies, and them jumping off this almost like platform which the Holy Mother created with a different purpose in mind, but the crew made full use of their surroundings. I think I need to read more of this arc for me to be able to comment any further. Alright, so as I said before, I really like Choujin X. I will name all the things that I think make it good. So, the first thing that comes to mind is the power system. By the way, I will be comparing this a lot to Tokyo Ghoul at times. This is one of the more unique power systems that I've seen, and I'm loving it. I love the unique powers and how they work. I love the fact that the Choujin power you get is directly associated to your complexes. But I have a question. Why the fuck is Ellie the smoke Choujin? That makes no sense, no? Anyhow, the power system is so interesting, and I really like Sui Ishida's ideas for the powers and how he executes them. Next, what I want to mention is the world building. I think the world of Choujin X has so much opportunity. Compared to the other Sui Ishida's work, Tokyo Ghoul, Choujin X's world has so much more to explore and see, while Tokyo Ghoul's, while definitely not bad, just doesn't compare in my opinion. The fact that it was just limited to Tokyo the entire time might be the reason why. While Choujin X can do pretty much anything. Like the last 2 arcs that I mentioned in the previous segment, which is an island and a huge ass fucking tower that is literally inside another world. I'm 99% sure. The next great thing is the art. Now, right off the bat, I want to compare this to Tokyo Ghoul. While Tokyo Ghoul has very refined art and very straight lines, Choujin X's art style is not as refined. Don't get me wrong, Tokyo Ghoul has has its very rough art moments, but normally it has very refined art. Now, this isn't criticism. No. You get the wrong idea. I know for a fact that Sui Ishida can draw very refined art as much as he wants, but I think that the very unrefined art is an artistic choice, and not gonna lie, I think I like it more that way. Alright, to not blabber too long about only the good things, I'll only name 2 more good things before moving on to the next segment. First of the remaining 2 is pacing. There is never a boring chapter in Choujin X. In the rare occasion that pretty much nothing big happens in a chapter, it's almost certainly setting up the next chapter or arc in some way that you will look back upon and think, oh shit, this was foreshadowed so hard. But most of the time, there's either a big fight or something big in general that happens in each chapter, so it never gets boring. In short, the pacing in Choujin X is quite fast, and I love it that way. And the last thing is storytelling. I really like the interesting ideas that Sui Ishida writes in each arc. He never fails to disappoint. While my favorite arc so far is the Beast Islands arc, story-wise, the most unique arc has to be the Tower of Mourning arc. I love that arc's concept, but I haven't finished reading that arc, and as of now, it hasn't overtaken the Beast Island arc. Alright, let's move on to the next segment, which is the bad. I have nothing to say. Alright, I suppose I'll name this fun fact I had while reading the series. I have dropped this series like 3 times. Okay, maybe not dropped, but like put it on hold for a long time with the intention of continuing it someday. And all of those times happened even before the fucking Sinker arc. Yeah, so I suppose from that you can deduct that Choujin X has a slow start. Oh, and one more thing. I don't really understand the whole complexes thing. Like Ellie, why in the ever-living fuck is she the smoke Choujin? Was she around her fucking dad who smoked around her and now she likes being called Smokester? I think Sui Ishida should make a couple chapters explaining the power system and why every Choujin has the powers they have. As in, why they have that power instead of something else. Now, if you want to start Choujin X but aren't sure if you'd enjoy it, then why are you still here? I just spoiled the entire story for you. Anyways, if you like Sui Ishida's Tokyo Ghoul, then I think you'll like Choujin X too, as I see Choujin X to be something more akin to a passion project for Sui Ishida, and they both have a similar vibe to them in a way. But if you haven't seen / read Tokyo Ghoul, then if you like a story with a really unique power system, with incredible art and great storytelling, and don't mind a good amount of gore and violence, then I think you will definitely like Choujin X. You can read Choujin X online for free and legally on the Manga Plus app, or you can buy the physical English books for $11.59 on Amazon right now, or $14.99 in stores for a retail price. It's quite expensive for a manga volume, but there's a good reason for it. Alright, for the last segment in this video, I want to mention some of my favorite moments in the series, starting with when Azuma became the Moon Choujin. That moment was so cold, dude. Even everyone in the manga looked back and was like, hey yo, what the fuck is that over there? And then proceeded to beat everyone's ass. Azuma, even to the fucking mentors, was like, nah, get out of my face, bitch. Let me run ones with Tokyo. And then proceeded to whoop even Tokyo's ass. Like, even with the power of a backstory on Tokyo's side, he was still getting whooped. And Azuma was pretty much defeated by the plot armor, because as much as I don't want to say it, this moment was kind of an ass pull. The next moment that I really liked is when Tokyo was pretty much playing baseball with the Sinker Choujin. I didn't like this moment for the same reason as when Azuma became a Moon Choujin, but I love this because of Tokyo's sheer dedication to stopping / helping the Sinker Choujin. Then, I already mentioned this before, but I have to say it again, is when Ellie got stabbed by Azuma. Tokyo wants to shout Azuma's name just like any other protagonist would have, but Tokyo stops himself and shouts Ellie's name. I don't know why, but that meant a lot more to me than it probably should have. Then the next moment I want to mention is pretty much the entire Beast Island arc. Apart from the mentors fight, I liked both the Azuma's fight and Tokyo's and Kagemura's fight. I loved Azuma's fight because this was the first time that we saw Azuma actually fight in his Choujin form while being in control, and Tokyo's fight because he actually isn't some average and dumb main character that just rushes straight at the enemy. He realized pretty quickly how he was being trapped and adapted to it. That shows that Tokyo actually has some pretty high battle IQ. And the last moment that I want to mention is the Holy Mother's confrontation. The entire explanation of how Tokyo is pretty much the chosen one, and how Azuma actually uses his brain and tells Tokyo not to follow everything blindly and not trust everything that someone says. Alright, that's it for this video. Oof. I delayed writing the script for the longest time because 1, I hadn't read nearly enough chapters to make an actual video on this series, and 2, I really just for some reason didn't want to write it, so I delayed it for the longest time. Like a week ago, I had 3 video scripts to write. A script about Bakuman, Shaman King Volume 1, and Choujin X. And after having delayed writing the script for Choujin X for more than a month, you would think that I would finally write it, right? Well, turns out no. From the 3 series that I mentioned, I left Choujin X to be written last, and I even started thinking about writing a script about Black Torch Volume 1, just to delay writing the script for Choujin X for as long as possible. I don't know why, it's not that I dislike the series, I just couldn't bring myself to write the godforsaken script, but here I am, finally done with writing the script for Choujin X. And anyways, if you enjoyed, please be sure to like and subscribe, and this was episode 8 of Manga Masterclass, and in the next episode of Manga Masterclass, I will be starting the next letter, which is obviously D, and the first series alphabetically on my manga list that starts with the letter D is Dandadan, so be on the lookout for that video. Anyways, once again, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. See ya!